Okay. Hello, everyone. Today is the webinar about UC Berkeley, how to crack admission for UC Berkeley. Today's our speakers are Orazali Kabdrah Manav um, and the second speaker is also sophomore at UC Berkeley, Zoyer Imamaliyev. They will be sharing today their experience, how they got into the UC Berkeley, and how is the studying process at the UC Berkeley. First of all, thank you very much, guys, for joining us in today's webinar, and thank you very much for your effort to help young generation to see and to motivate them to apply to top schools and never give up. Um, okay, so we can start now. Can you guys please introduce me yourself? Like, what grade you're in at university? Um, where are you from?
Okay, so hi, Sardar again. So my name is Razali. I'm a junior at UC Berkeley. I'm from Kazakhstan, from Astana. I'm studying data science and economics. And yeah.
Okay, thank you.
First and foremost, thank you for the invite, and I would love to speak to help at least someone from our regions. But my
Mhm,
name is Zoyer. I'm sophomore, computer science major at UC Berkeley. Studied in Tashkent, studied in London, and now studying UC Berkeley.
mhm. Nice, nice. Okay. Um, okay, so let's move on. When did you apply? When you start preparing for the university? Like how long did it take you for? Did it like how long did you prepare for this time? Like for your application process? I mean SAT score, IELTS score, and extracurricular honors.
When I was applying, so I'm class of 2026.
Mm-hmm,
So I came into university in 2022. But like I was kind of lucky because this was a post-COVID time where all the like regulations were not as hard and like it was not as hard as it now to get to like top universities. So I started preparing like actually in 2020, right after the COVID like lockdown ended. Uh, this cycle was a basic preparation for like IELTS, SAT, and like start writing some drafts for my essays. I just took like prompts from online. I'm just working with my like tutors and mentors. So
mm-hmm,
like for my first year in 2020, I was mostly preparing just for SAT because like we all know that SAT math is not as hard as we study like in our high schools in like CIS in Kazakhstan or Uzbekistan. But the hardest part was SAT English part, the reading part especially. So I was putting as much effort as I could into that part. And like concurrently, I was preparing for my IELTS exam. But after that, like after a whole year of preparation, I realized that I can pass the Duolingo test. And I think that most of universities still accept this examination. So yeah, I passed Duolingo, and I was kind of lucky because SAT was optional at that time.
okay.
Yeah. So in my extracurriculars, so while in my high school, I was not like attending high school because like I was mostly on online education. And while doing that, I was doing like professional sports. Professional, I'm a former professional archer. I was a participant of the national Kazakhstani team, like US team. So yeah, that was like a major part of my extracurriculars, as long as like some volunteering, and like playing on musical instruments, etc. And like my Olympiads in high school.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Thank you very much.
It was similar for me, but I was like in a interesting situation because my main focus was still UK, and I also knew about US as my option. And so I basically started to prepare 2 years, my last 2 years, as I knew like UK doesn't care about extracurricular, but US really cares. So I had to like make sure my academia was on point while also doing the extracurriculars. So I did like two volunteerings. I was president of three clubs. I was also like the head boarder where the boarders live in like my school. So in terms of that, a lot of leadership positions, a lot of positions community. So that was kind of helpful for the US. And then academia, I basically prepared for the UK one, which we have called A levels,
Mm-hmm.
and you just show them to the US, and they can just bring out the equivalent out for their grades. And I also did IELTS, but I didn't need to because I was in an English school, so they actually said like it's fine. And yeah, so Berkeley was like my only option, which changed me from UK to US. So like it was like the deciding option. So I prepared way before, like I think September, I was looking at the essays and like making drafts and like improving it continuously.
Mm-hmm.
But I do know of people who did it in like 2 weeks, which I don't recommend doing, but there are always exceptional cases.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, guys. And nice. So, am I like understand correctly? So you graduated from UK high school, right?
Yes.
And Orazali, you graduated from Nazarbayev International School.
So no, I was like studying there up until like 10th grade, but then I left it and just graduated from regular school in Astana.
Cool. So you applied to UC Berkeley with your public school diploma.
Basically, yeah.
Okay, nice. Okay, thank you very much. So when you got your acceptance letter, after you applied and got your acceptance letter, how did you feel? Like, was it
Uh,
your option? Was it like like the only option you were planning to go if you will get accepted?
so I actually still remember that day because like I my first like intention was to go to Colombia,
Mm-hmm.
but like I applied as like early decision for it. Like that was my like dream school at that
Mm-hmm.
time. Uh, Colombia or Harvard, actually. But like the aim was like the goal was still high, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So when I applied to more than 20 universities in US. So my focus was only on US unis, like only tops. But like after New Year, I still I was getting rejections after rejections, rejection after rejections, and like the only like okay school that accepted me was like USC, University of Southern California, which is in LA. And like University of Arizona and a couple other universities just waitlisted me. And I was still like kind of not too happy about it. And one day I just wake up, I check my email. First, I remember I get the email from Rice University with the rejection letter. I was like, okay, never mind. And
Mm-hmm.
I see a letter from Berkeley, like, and don't write in like in the email the result. They like send you a
Yeah.
link where you press and then like you can see it.
Yeah.
So I'm pressing and like I start seeing confetti and stuff on the website, and it's like I was really shocked. I ran to my mom, I showed her, she was like she was so happy. And, like I was really happy and like inspired by this like for a whole week after. Because
Yeah.
like getting rejections after rejections and then like getting like, offer from such a great school was very happy for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, it was a quite important decision because from UK, I had Imperial, UCL, Kings, and Manchester offers, and all my family really wanted me to still stay in UK, but like I'm a CS major, so I knew how good Berkeley was, and I wanted a change of climate and like go to a bigger place in terms of like dynamics. So and then I applied to Berkeley, but because all the applications for UCs are the same, you can just apply to more at the same time. So just
Mm-hmm.
applied to Berkeley, UCLA, UCSD, and I think a Barber. So I just woke up one day, checked it, and then I went like from below to up. So I got UCSD, got Barber, got UCLA, and then it was the final top boss. It was Berkeley, and I actually got it. I was really happy because the UK unis offers are pretty high, so you have to score quite well on your exams to get in after you get the offer. But the US is different. Once you get in, you get in. So once I saw Berkeley, it was like guaranteed admission basically. So I was like really relieved of all the stress. So I basically didn't need to perform the exams to be honest.
Mm. Wow. Yeah. Um, I see. Okay, great. So you got an acceptance letter, you arrived to university. So you started your academics there, right? And what what's your experience with the professors and teaching staff in your like department? I mean, CS department.
So in terms of experience of professors, I think we have too many professors who are too smart. Like they actually like inventors of something, inventors of like a lot of the things come from Berkeley, like the IE 754 format. Like you learn more about every part of computer machinery that actually was invented here. So it's kind of really inspiring and cool to have like your university be mentioned in at least one paper, at least like someone from university always the name of. And in terms of staff, Berkeley is a bit different to like the Ivies, for example, because
Mm-hmm.
here we have a lot of students, but because we're a public university, the like the money spent on students is not as much as the ratio is not as much as in Ivies. So here you have to kind of self-study in a way too. Like it's not just handed to you. You still have to compete pretty high at a pretty high level because a lot of students in CS and less money. So in terms of that, you still have to work hard on your own. But the resources, well, what I've seen in CS department, I think are very good. Like, there's a lot.
Yeah, I do agree with Zor. Everything's the same for me. Because like even though I'm a data science, we're still in the same department, in the same college.
I think the host is having issues with the internet like that.
Okay, host now, Zor.
I guess we can keep the show going. Should I host? What do you think about your department? Could you elaborate more in your answer?
No, I'm saying like we're in the same department, we're in the same college, so I would say that
Yes.
mostly everything that you mentioned still applies to me. But also like I'm doing econ, but like what I would say that in our department, econ is like more theoretically based. It's like less of application rather than like theory.
Mm-hmm.
So that might be a bit like not as inspiring, but still like it's considered to be a top school in the world. Uh, like in the economics major specifically. So we
Mm-hmm.
have like a lot of great minds working here, a lot of strong economists. So yeah, like that's very, very interesting, very inspiring. It's like there are professors that are not just like studied to be professors. They're professors that like actually have some great experience. For example, one of my econ professors was the economic advisor for the Obama's office in the White House.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that like this kind of stories is really inspiring because like you know that in this university, like all the subjects are being taught by like really good professors that are like very experienced and like, proficient in their fields.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Interesting. Um, yeah, it's like every top school have their own direction where they're perfect. For example, I also heard and I also read that the UC Berkeley is like out like very good school for CS major. They have very unique
Hmm.
approach to CS department, I would say. Um, yeah, that's very interesting to hear from like current students who's currently studying there. And another thing
But
was like,
I have one thing to say because like since like this is a public school, like
mhm,
for example, we're having 40,000 students every year.
yeah,
40,000. That's like therefore the all the classes are overpacked.
oh,
Where it's like the classes are very high demand. So you don't get to like have this like one-to-one experience with your professor.
mhm,
So if you want to like still stand out among like 700 students in your class, you still have to like compete with them just like to talk to professor to like get noticed and stuff. Like that's the like one of the issues.
oh. So there is no an individual approach to the student, right?
Yeah, like only in like specific like not like classes with narrow topics, like we're only 15, 20. But like they're not like it's more like a research based. But like if you just want to go to the regular class, for example, like intro to like computer science, like data structures and algorithms. So like those are really high demand classes where you get like don't get like one-to-one experience with your professor.
Nice. Okay. I see, I see. So here arises another question. How hard is study at UC Berkeley?
Mm, I think it's reasonable. It's not super hard.
Mhm.
I mean, if you study well in high school and like had a really good standing, like good GPA, and like, actually not like just cheated everything from like ChatGPT or like and stuff, but actually study and like spend some time, then you'll be good. Because like
Mhm.
it's not more about like how hard the material is. It's more of a study ethic you have. If you can study and if you can make yourself like sit and like
And
grasp all the
study.
material, then you're good. Yeah, then you're just good.
Okay.
I agree
I
with
mean,
Rosalie.
there are
Okay,
like
sorry.
exceptions where like if you're like super smart, where you're like brilliant, you're just genius, then yeah, you don't have to study. But like I
Mhm.
would say in most cases, if you can make yourself go to the library, sit, focus, study for a couple hours, you'll be good.
Slight caveat to add to that. Like there is, I don't know, maybe it's major dependent, but there is a slight shift in some classes in the way you approach it. So like in high school, like personally, I've never had a class where I was like just sitting there for hours not understanding it because like it was never that hard of material or that's what I found. But some classes here, like the average is 40%, which is like a big shift. So like the average is 40. So if you get 60, you're like getting an A. So that's just to show how hard the material can be because it's so abstract that like you can sit there for 3 hours and like you still might feel like you learn nothing, even though you're trying. So you'll go to different ways of doing it. So form study groups, go to TAs for help, speak to
Yeah.
professor for help, go online. So it's like a bit different. Like for example, one class CS70 was like that, where it's really hard to understand some topics. You can definitely do it, but it takes like grind and hard work to get the details. And then we have 621C, which is very low level class. So for example, there's not even resources online for it. So you just have to depend on Berkeley. Like you can't really find good
Mhm.
sources, they just don't exist. So like that's the only change from high school in terms of like content. But work
Yeah.
wise, I agree with Rosalie. Like if you just keep consistent work, uh, you'll be fine. And you can self-pace in US, right? You can choose how much work you do. So it's up to you. You can keep a balanced timetable. You can go crazy. You get 20 units and like just study in library every day. So it's kind of your choice as well.
Yeah. I also like appreciate the system of US education where you can build your own schedule. It's like not in Uzbekistan, or I'm not sure whether it's Kazakhstan or same in Kazakhstan or not, but in Uzbekistan, if like we study in the university, like national university, they will give us the schedule which we need to like study actually, which is like
But I would say the system also has its cons because like if it's a very high demand class, and like it just depends on your enrollment time. If you're lucky, you're lucky. If
but
you're lucky to have a
eventually,
first day of enrollment, you'll get into class because like
yeah,
it's like first come first serve, right?
yeah, yeah. But
Yeah, so
eventually you
that's
need to
one of the
get it
cons.
because like you cannot graduate if you will not take this class, right?
I mean, there can be like some exceptions, but like in general, yeah,
Yeah.
I had to struggle with that before my last year.
I see, I see. Okay. So we talk about the academics. Let's now a bit change the topic to extracurricular activities. Like what kinds of clubs or organizations are popular at UC Berkeley? What clubs you're like part of? Uh, are there like any opportunities for leadership, like development or involvement in like student government if you have at UC Berkeley?
I would say that's a good question for Zoyer. He's a
I
VP of the club.
I can start. I think in terms of opportunities, like for me, that's where the difference is very big from UK to US. Like
Mhm.
US, it's maybe Berkeley is different in its health from other US, but the opportunities here are actually like a bit too much because like you need to focus on some. There's like way too much. Like You can go to startup events, speak to VCs, like get help. There's classes where you design your own startup, blah blah. That's one branch. Then you can focus on big tech, networking, this, that, SF. That's another branch. Then in terms of Berkeley alone, there's a lot of research. We have like 3 ML labs. We have like just doing your own projects, and then just clubs alone. That it's a bit toxic, our specific culture, because the acceptance rate to clubs is less than Berkeley itself. We have the screening for resume, screening for essays, and then 2 3 rounds of interview just to get into a club. And that club, I mean like coding club, where you work with clients like Snapchat, Google, or whatever. Like you just help them build out features. ML clubs, they're quite competitive. And then we have, in terms of finance, we have like consulting
Consulting.
clubs. So for that club, you'll work like 40 hours a week, just for free, and you'll just do like a lot of consulting stuff. And getting in there is even the hardest, I would say. They have like 3 4 rounds of interviews for a club
Yeah.
where the other students are interviewing you, so it's a very weird atmosphere. But like even if you don't focus on clubs, I think like academia and professional life alone will take up most of your time. There's a lot going on, basically trying to say. I don't know if you want to add to that, Russell.
I would just say that there are too many of the clubs. And like if you want to try to like if you try to get into all of them, like you won't be able to. You have to focus only on one club. That was
Mhm.
my problem in my like freshman and sophomore year. I was focusing on way too many clubs. So as though it's all like it's very competitive. Like they have 3 4 rounds of interview. I was like really shocked about that because like why do I have to interview? Why like do other students interviewing me 3 times to get into a club at my university, which is very strange. Yeah, of course there are some like regular clubs like Asian Student Association, so we're just like where they accept everyone. And
Mhm.
like those are like just club to gather and like have fun. But like if you
Mhm.
wanted to get to professional club, yeah, it's really competitive. I do agree. So that's one of the reasons why I didn't want to apply because like my I applied my first year. I was like, okay, I'm done with this. I don't want this anymore.
I see, I see. Yeah. Sounds very like interesting and I wanna also feel it because at my university, Duke is it's a like new startup university. It's only like 10 years at the like 10 years old university.
Hmm.
And the clubs we have a like very big opportunity to be the president of the clubs.
Hmm.
For example, myself, I'm a president of the CS club at my university, and the budgets they provide for the clubs is also like how to say it's enough to make something big, but we need time and resources for this. Yeah, that's the differences between every university. I mean, okay, so um, what has been the most like rewarding or challenging part of your time at Berkeley?
I would say the most rewarding part is to like go home after a hard semester.
Good answer.
Or like a internship offer in your email in your
Yeah.
Gmail box. Yeah, I would say that's the most rewarding. Like that's the only purpose of like, studying so hard, I think. And the most challenging for me is like is to keep the constant grind. Because like we don't have we don't have a quarter based like system. We have semester based. So each
Mhm.
semester is like 16 weeks. So
Mhm.
like you have to sprint nonstop for 16 weeks every week, like lectures, extracurricular stuff, work, study, research projects, etc. So like it's very like a snowball, coming, 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 and then you just like at the end of semester, just okay, I'm done, and you go home, and then that's like time when you're actually like
Very
feeling
well.
yourself like rewarded. Yeah,
I see, I see.
even though it should not be like this, I think, because like I think that you you have to feel rewarded every day throughout your semester, but like you see, the problem is like I would say in Berkeley specifically, that's too much competition. Like everyone has to like try on 110% what they can do. And they
Mm,
like feel very exhausted at the end of semester. That's like because like Berkeley depression is real. I mean, not for me though, but like, but still, uh, it's kind of hard to like keep up the grind to be
Yeah.
consistent.
Mhm.
I agree with that. I think the most challenging, that's like depends on a person, but overall, like on average basis, I would say, yeah, it's the workload. It's the very academic nature of the university. Like even if you look at the MBA program, it's like third or second in the country, but like Stanford MBA is very much focused on like networking, talking to as much people, building connections, like starting your business. Whereas Berkeley MBA is like really academic. Like you just have to do homework as an adult. That's like just explains the culture quite well here. And I would say the most rewarding, uh, to be honest, is like just seeing the progress that you've made, like just from a year before you joined, like in terms of like not just academia. Like academia alone should be enough to be happy about because you expanded your thinking, like you know so much more. But it's also more than that. It's like how to network, how to write your resume, how to do this, how to do that. So it's like compilation of those.
Mhm. I see. Yeah. And you just mentioned about the CVs and so on. How does the university support students in finding internships or any career opportunities?
Mm, I would say not as much though. Mhm. They definitely have like opportunities for students like where they can come and ask. We have like a career center, Berkeley Career Center, where they like help in building your resumes, preparing for interviews, and like they every semester they're making like different career fairs like investment banking, STEM, like engineering, big tech career fairs. So we can come talk to recruiters from like Apple, from Google, and like some local startups maybe. But like in general, as I said, like 40,000 students only in Berkeley, as well as Stanford down there, like down the bay, which makes like too much competition. So like even though like if university wanted to help you like as much as they could, they wouldn't be able to because like it mostly like, it depends only on you because like on your accomplishments, on your experience, on like on what you know.
Hmm.
So there are definitely opportunities. They're like, but they're not leading you. They're just supporting you on your own way.
Mm.
I agree with that. The university doesn't have like a specific, I would say, program or anything like that. It's more like overall, like a lot of clubs actually have a lot of alumni or people who are interning in like every company you can imagine. And so those clubs open workshops for any student who are welcome to come. So it's
Yeah.
up to you to do your research and just see like on social media and stuff. And they actually are quite useful in terms of like their seniors who've interned in Google, Meta, Snapchat,
Hmm.
everything. So they can just look and give you like a really good feedback in terms of like CV resume stuff. But another thing, I guess the university's name is helpful. Like it's just by recognition, it helps you in your applications. And some companies have like university recruitment, which is specific per university. So they have like a lot of them have Berkeley on there as well. Like Uber, for example, they have
Mm.
Berkeley specific programs. But that's pretty much it.
Hmm. I see. Okay, so yeah, that's interesting. I never like looked through the Uber application, but I will go and definitely look at them. Like maybe we'll find another universities. Maybe there is a Duke University somewhere there.
It should be.
Yeah. So, but how would you like describe a social scene like at UC Berkeley? Like what do you do in your spare time except clubs, work, study?
Like in my spare time, just chill at home, maybe watch some show, maybe.
Mhm.
Oh, sometimes we go to like esports lounge here in Berkeley, or like it's just like maybe go to SF because like San Francisco is like right across the bay. Uh, or like there are some other like pretty places around here, like Walnut Creek, maybe
Mhm.
Oakland, but like Oakland is very dangerous. So maybe like just hop in the car with your friends, just go grab some food, like In and Out or like Raising Cane's. Yeah, just like spend some time, just relax, not thinking about academia. Because like
Mhm.
the amount of time when you're like really allowed to not think about academia is like very low.
Mhm. Yeah.
I would agree. I think like Berkeley might be known as, I don't know if we are like as antisocial or not, but I would say we are, like from someone who's here. Everyone's pretty social. Like overall, we can just community based alone. There's so many specific communities. Like we even have our own Central Asian, which I'm like co-founder of. So like there's a lot of communities where you can find people who have similar interests. You can go to like snowboarding club, you can go to skiing club, you can go to surfing club. Like it's very like specific. So like that's just for chilling as well. They're like cultural slash fun clubs. And in terms of just friends, yeah, you can like uh there's always something happening. I would say pretty much any day you can go. We have an area called Sproul, which is like our main block that you pass through
Yeah.
to go to classes. And there's always something, like some table going on, something. So you can always like find stuff to do. We have sports, like I play football. We have our own student league. There's every other sport there too. And yeah, just hang out with your friends, enjoy your time. Pretty much that's it.
Yeah. Okay, great. Um, so would you choose Berkeley again if you had the choice?
Mm. I mean, mm,
Like if you compare the academia and how hard the studies are, would you go again to this school?
I definitely would.
if I was like, I mean, if you were accepted to Stanford,
No, I still would choose Berkeley because I'm biased now. Like once you like, I'm so home here. Like I know everything about everything. Like I'm so used to it, and
yeah, I do
like
agree with Zor.
I don't feel like usually like even though other unis come up like with like Ivy name or something. Like there's not that feel in Berkeley where like oh we're less like or something like that. We always like have our own ego like pretty high up. So like
And and
everyone's fine.
I wouldn't say there's like a much better uni for CS than Berkeley, anyways.
Mm,
There might be like be on the same level, so like there is just no point of choosing other uni.
Yeah.
Maybe if just like maybe if going to Stanford or Harvard just to make like stronger connections, but still, like, you're in Bay Area in the Silicon Valley, which still should be good.
yeah, I see. Okay. So I think this will be my last question, and we will ask the audience for their questions. My last question would be as usual, we ask in every interview is that any advice for incoming students to make the most of their experience at UC Berkeley and to apply to UC Berkeley.
Mm, I would just say work hard in your applications. Uh, and spend some like actually spend time on building your personal statements, which are very important. And like don't neglect the GPA. Everyone might be saying, "Oh, you're like studying well, you're a nerd," but like still, eventually, you're not a nerd, first of all, and like it matters.
Mhm.
I agree with admissions. That's pretty much good summary. But in terms of university experience, like I would say, like people have different philosophy, but mine is like do as much as you can. Like don't be scared to like just jump in, like take opportunities that even if you're not qualified for. Like someone says, "Oh, I want to build this project. Like, do you want to join?" And you don't know anything about that. You just say yes. Like I know. Like don't worry, and you just learn on your own. But like just
Yeah.
take as much, sign up for as many things as you can. Like experience like as much as you can, so you know what you want to do in the future,
Mhm.
especially in the US, we have opportunity to try out like so many things. So I would say like don't be afraid to do stuff like that you don't know yet. Like, no one really knows. Like everyone starts off. So
Yeah, of course. Okay, so this is the time for the audience to ask the questions. If you guys have any questions, just drop the message in the chat box or just unmute yourself and raise the question. Okay, let's wait. if we don't have any questions, I think we can slowly wrap up. If we do have, like, if you guys have any questions, you can write to Globe City admin chat in Telegram, and we will redirect the personal questions to our speakers, or we will answer them by ourselves if it is related to admission process. But okay, thank you very much, guys. And I'm very sorry to disturb you in 8 a.m. It's 9 a.m. in
No, it's all good. It's all good.
It's all
No
good,
worries.
I'm so sorry for this. Thank you very much for your time, for your effort. I'm also planning to stop in. I'm also planning to go to California. I think next month, later next month, and I plan to visit UC Berkeley too, and we can catch up there too, and we can
Okay.
yeah talk details in the chat. Thank you very much, guys. It was my pleasure to talk with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you for
Thank you for having us.
the invite. Yeah, thank you for the invite.
Thank you so much.